Try your hand at piecing words together in Wordsmith. Thanks for joining us at Tantrum House Studio D. I'm Melissa Delp.
And I'm Kevin Delp. Wordsmith is a 1 to 4 player word building game that takes about 30 minutes to play.
It's published by HeidelBAR Games, and they gave us this copy to review.
We had a great time meeting one of the designers for Wordsmith, Bill Eberly. He's been designing games since the 1970s, games like Dune and Cosmic Encounter.
The game comes with a tray, 4 shapes of pieces, dice, score pads, and pencils. When you start the game, each player will have the same 8 randomly selected pieces. You'll use the pieces to make letters, according to the guide on the box. With those letters, you're trying to make words.
If you want more pieces, you'll roll the die and take the piece shown. This can help you make longer words.
But you don't want to have too many pieces. When you get a word, you shout it out and write it on your sheet. If you don't use all the pieces, you have to discard the unused pieces and mark off spots on your sheet. You'll gain points if you don't discard too many pieces.
When someone makes their 6th word, that triggers the end of the round. Everyone else has one more chance to make a word with the pieces that they have.
Then you'll score your points. It's basically 1 point for each letter in your words, and then any extra points you have for not discarding the pieces.
After 3 rounds, the game is over, but each round you start with new pieces, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, even though this is a speed game, the person who gets to 6 words first isn't necessarily going to be the one who wins. Sometimes it's better to have fewer words, but with more letters than a whole bunch of short ones.
Yeah, because you do need points to win, and after 3 rounds, whoever has the most points wins. I'm usually the person that plays shorter words. Melissa has much more better vocabulary than I do.
Well, I am a writer, so that's to be expected. Unfortunately, I'm not always the greatest speller, so it takes a little bit of time as I, second guess my words and try to make sure that they're spelled right.
As you're making letters, you can't just arrange the pieces any way you want. You have to follow the patterns on the box. So that puts everyone on the same playing field, which is nice, but it's a little frustrating if you need one piece to finish the word that you need, but you're having trouble rolling it. There's one game where I rolled like 4 yellows in a row.
So you mean you weren't looking for an X?
No, I was not looking for an X.
The good news, though, is that the blue and green sides of the die are actually wild, so if you roll those, you can pick any piece that you want.
One of the things that really helped me was seeing what letters could be made with the pieces I had. Then that helped me form words from the letters. I did well 1 round with the words socket, pocket, and locket, but just because words rhyme doesn't mean that they're spelled similarly, like profit, prophet, and soffit.
Who's going to think of the word soffit?
You never know.
It's probably good for us to mention that you do have to change your word. You can't just rearrange the letters. So if I spell pot, I can't just switch the order to then make top. Each time, one letter at least needs to be new or different.
I like the acrylic pieces, that they're bright and colorful, and the insert you use is part of the gameplay.
Personally, I am a big fan of word games. And I like puzzles, so when I heard about this one, which kind of combines both, I was really intrigued by it. And after playing it, I must say I have thoroughly enjoyed it. I like that it's kind of working multiple parts of your brain. You have the word language aspect, but then the shapes and patterns. And I like to have a personal challenge of trying to be creative with the pieces and make some of those longer and more unique words.
And there's a little bit of a push your luck aspect with the die. If you're trying to collect more pieces to make those longer words, you might have to discard more. And if people are doing more words than you faster, you're going to feel that time pressure.
I know. Usually Kevin's like really quickly shouting out all these words, and I'm like, I'm going to get this word.
I'm going to make prestidigitation. Oh, give me a second.
So if that kind of speed element, pressure, real time doesn't appeal to you, the game does have some variants in the rulebook that take that aspect out. There is a version that is more relaxed and turn-based.
I actually do like that they have those variants, but I really enjoy the game in its original form as you're trying to make words with the pieces that you have. So if you enjoy word games, if you're okay with a little real-time spelling, then definitely check out Wordsmith from HeidelBAR, coming to retail soon, and we would love for you to subscribe to Tantrum House. I'm Kevin Delp. Wordsmith is a wonderful... Kevin Delp.
Give it up.
Wordsmith. Go.
Thanks for joining us in Tantrum House. Tantrum House.
Tantrum House.
Tantrum.
Hi, I am
Hey.
the Terminator.